The approval of spot XRP ETFs is still a few weeks away. This moment has been anticipated for years. The organizations that will be introducing these items are beginning to provide us with a lot of news and information. I want to present you and go over a lot of fresh material with you. After watching this video, you ought to have a solid grasp of what is going to happen next. Now let's get straight to the information. Regarding the ETF market, this is from CNBC. A few other ETFs are also emerging in what we would refer to as the more established token market, along with XRP. But what if people had other opportunities because of this pent-up demand? In what way would you suggest? Because it's obvious to me that you're witnessing institutional demand, which, as you mentioned, has been developing for 5 to 10 years. However, it is also known as the crypto ETFs. Where would you suggest investors go? The reason for this is that many of our domestic investors may own shares of Coinbase, Robinhood, or Supermicro. They're trying to get their name out there, but I think we'd like to hear from you. Recently, a new group of businesses known as digital asset treasuries, or DATs, have experienced a significant surge. As a firm, we have leaned into this field and helped launch it earlier this year. By building up capital or holding Bitcoin or other tokens on their balance sheet, these businesses are imitating MicroStrategy and making a concerted effort to raise the number of tokens you possess per share. Well, our own digital asset treasury, Solana Company, with the ticker HSDT, was just introduced. People often ask, why would I own a Bitcoin in a box when I could just own a passive ETF when comparing digital asset treasuries and exchange-traded funds, ETFs? And the difference between active and passive management is crucial. The goal of digital asset treasuries, or DATs, is to provide you with active management. ETFs, on the other hand, are passive but excellent for many people. As you can see, there are many ways to contribute value through active management, including advocacy, capital market techniques, token marketing, and just purchasing and selling more wisely than passively. And if they do well, I think some of these digital asset treasuries like HSDT have the potential to surpass the underlying token in the long run. Thus, a number of activities are taking on here. One is the demand for spot XRP products at the institutional level and for ETFs. The other is the treasury market, or DAT, which is beginning to develop. And with more than 1 billion worth of XRP, we saw Evernorth striving to set the norm, if you will. I believe that the top 500 and 1,000 firms will begin to appear, and there are other organizations who will not only think about executing a DAT, XRP, or Solana, or any other similar strategy. Banks and other financial organizations will probably start to take a look at this as well. Therefore, I believe that the level of adoption that we will witness through these various products over the next 5 to 10 years will be enormous. Additionally, I predict that over the coming years, other items that we aren't even aware of or considering will be introduced here. That is this space's most fascinating feature. We have a plethora of fresh options for investing our money. Make sure you're following your financial advisor's advice when you do that. You should try to get one if you don't already have one. Yes, Teddy Ferrasso, president of Bitwise, discusses the anticipated Bitwise XRP ETF, implying that it will launch and be approved shortly. Come on, let's play. The administration reopens. For example, do you anticipate that the SEC will launch or approve your own applications? I'm not sure how much you can say about this, to be honest, based on your own XRP. Very rapidly, or is there more work to be done specifically on the XRP ETF? Yes, Ellie, it is a really good question. The truthful response is that I'm not sure. The second half of the honest response is that I can say a few things, but I have to be really careful about what I say since it's a registration statement that isn't applicable to the Bitwise XRP ETF. What I can say is that the registration statement can automatically take effect when you want to take use of what I'll refer to as the auto-effective clause. You're not traveling by yourself. You must have a listing exchange that is willing to list the product as a registrant. Thus, the New York Stock Exchange was the Bitwise Solana Stake and ETF, or BSOL. We had a fantastic occasion yesterday, as you demonstrated in the picture. The registrant and registrants outside of council must be certain that all disclosure requirements have been fulfilled, and the listing exchange must be confident that all requirements have been fulfilled. One more fantastic image. Take a look at how thrilled Tolly is. It is necessary for each of these issuers to have an auditor, and the auditor must approve this. Authorized participants are required, market makers are required, liquidity providers must exist. Thus, it's similar to this entire ecosystem of other people who must feel at ease with the registration statement operating in this way. Therefore, Bitwise needs to be mindful of what they say while releasing these items. They are attempting to avoid statements that might have an effect on the market. They can and cannot say certain things, and there are laws. He is merely providing us with a knowledge of what has to be put in place. I mean, who's engaged in all of this? You mentioned that you are in contact with an auditor, a person to list it, and other parties. It simply helps us comprehend the sheer number of individuals and many factors that are needed to get this project over the finish line. And since I learned a few things there as well, I hope that helps you learn a few things as well. Venek, Bitwise Invest, and James Seoff, I always pronounce his name incorrectly, joined the group of issuers who have filed to possibly sell cryptocurrency products in November of next year. This is how we previously had Fidelity and Canary Funds file Solana. It will also be fascinating to watch how everything works out with the Canary file for XRP. There are a number of additional developments here that I wanted to simply go over so you would be completely informed. With the market changing quickly over the past week, spot XRP ETFs are about to launch in the US. The most significant changes are that Bitwise and Canary Capital have both submitted revised S1 filings that eliminate the SEC's delayed amendment, potentially allowing their spot XRP ETFs to go into effect immediately. Mid-November, and if the SEC doesn't step in, possibly as early as November 13th. Therefore, the SEC's deliberate intervention is the only way to halt this. In my opinion, Paul Atkins, the SEC commissioner, does not want to face the consequences of denying this. As you can see, that probably wouldn't be regarded as a free, fair, and open market when you're allowing the HBAR and Litecoin products to be approved while purposefully stopping the XRP products. You already have the Bitcoin and Ethereum products after all. You're currently holding back one of the most well-known cryptocurrency assets globally, which is currently more well-liked by retail investors than Solana. Therefore, I don't believe they will follow that path. And I absolutely believe that these things will be approved. It appears that Swell will occur on the 4th and 5th. And then, hopefully, there will be a lot of announcements from Swell on the acceptance of ETFs. Indeed, this moment seems incredibly amazing. I'd really like to know what you guys think, so please share your thoughts in the comments section below. On November 13th, Canary Capital's objective was announced, pending final NASDAQ clearance in the ATN. After employing a similar auto-effective method, Bitwise, the filing company that dominates its flows on crypto spot ETFs, may soon go live. Many thanks for listening. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Additionally, remember to click the subscribe button. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Be careful.